Glad to talk to you, man. You've been busy lately.
Oh, yeah, very busy, brother. I've had 3 events, 2 churches today, and a fundraiser with my friend Gail McShepard out in Beechwood. She's running for trying to be I think she's going to be the first African-American to ever sit on the Beechwood City Council.
Yeah. Well, Zach, how are you traveling now? You're traveling in your top hat and your cane and your high alligator shoes. Are you traveling like that or what? In your big Cadillac car or what? What's going on here?
I haven't gone there yet, all right? I haven't gone there yet.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out that was the... Well, not according to Mary Jackson. According to Mary Jackson, you're driving around in a big Cadillac, a cane, derby tied around your head. What's going on here with a couple things on your shoulder? Yes.
Let me be clear. All right? To you and your listeners, okay? I've never been a pimp. I wasn't a pimp yesterday. I'm not a pimp today. And I don't foresee me being a pimp tomorrow. And I demand an apology, not just to me. Forget about me. You can put me to the side. But I think it's beneath the job and the dignity of the mayor of the city of Cleveland, one of the largest metropolitan cities in the whole nation, to call another person, forget about calling another council and another elected official a pimp, but just it coming out of the mayor's mouth is beneath the dignity and the office of mayor. So on behalf of the people of the city of Cleveland, I'm asking for an apology on their behalf.
And I can agree with that, Zach. It was kind of shocking to me also because we never saw you in that light. And for those words to come out, I can understand why you would ask for an apology. So you've asked for an apology. Have you got your apology? It's been a minute.
It has not. I've not got the apology yet, but as you know, every Monday night, there comes a time what they call the miscellaneous. And we get an opportunity to stand on the floor of City Council at 7 o'clock and to speak on whatever issue we feel a need to speak on. So there should be no doubt in anybody's mind what I'm going to speak on tomorrow. I'm going to speak on behalf of the citizens of the city of Cleveland and ask on their behalf that our mayor, my mayor, your mayor, those who live in the city of Cleveland, give an apology, whether in person or in writing. But in some way, he needs to apologize. Like I said, he'll need to apologize to me. I mean, this is not the first time. I mean, don't forget, he called me up. He called myself and another one of my colleagues a vintage of a pimp a few months ago, or whatever it may be. He has called me. His Twitter page has called me a liar. You know, he walked out. I think the plain dealer talked about he walked out when we were talking about the 10-year-old whose dad got shot and he got shot in the car. So, I mean, I know his dislike and disdain for Zach Reed for whatever reason, because I'm one of the few council people that are willing to stand up and voice my opinion on behalf of the 23,000 people that I represent in the Mount Pleasant, Union Miles, and Mill Creek Falls neighborhood. I mean, they elected me. Last time I checked, he has never voted for me one time. So the people who voted for me to go down to city council, to look at and evaluate legislation, to look at and evaluate policies. And when I agree with the mayor and the administration and my colleagues, I should say yay. When I don't agree, I should have the right to say nay without being called whatever you want to call me.
All right, so let's direct this in on the conversation that you were having as far as the dirt bikes. Why is that irritating the mayor so bad that of the position that you're taking?
Well, you got to ask him why it irritates him so much. I cannot understand. I cannot answer on his behalf why it irritates him. But he knows it's a losing formula. He knows it's a losing policy. He knows it. I mean, he goes out. I can tell you, Art, as you know, I'm running for mayor of the city of Cleveland.
Yes, we know that.
Whether I go to Collinwood, West Park, Mill Creek, Mount Pleasant, no matter where I go in this city, east, west, north, or south, everybody that I've spoken to, believes spending $2.4 million on a dirt bike track for individuals that they believe and I believe and we believe will not go to the dirt bike track is a waste of money. And he's hearing the same thing. And therefore, because I've chosen to lead the campaign against that dirt bike track, I think we should spend $1 million to clean up the park. Now, there's no doubt. It's toxic. It's got some chemicals that need to be cleaned up down there in the dirt. And our young people should not be down there playing in that dirt while there's chemicals in that dirt. So I would agree that we need to clean up the park. But we don't need to clean up the park to put in another $1.4 million to build a dirt bike track. He knows it. I know it. The people have told him this. And yet he is it's just art. You know how you've been there too long? You know, You've been down there for a quarter of a century.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no different when you and I talked about Public Square. Why did you shut out Public Square? After the RNC and after all the people from West Virginia to Colorado to California use Public Square, and now it's time to open it up for people who have to use it for public transportation, he all of a sudden said, no, we're not going to open it up for them. He's at a point, Art, where he's been down there for far too long. And he's like that grandfather now. When you go over to the house for dinner, after a while, he's liable to say anything and liable to do anything. And that's where he's at right now. He's been down there for far too long, and it's time for a change. It's time for new leadership, new vision, and a new mayor, period.
All right. Let me ask you this. Now, we're going to get away from the dirt bike track itself, but we're going to go to the bikers, the dirt bikers in the street. The mayor has been very sympathetic, along with the police chief and others, on the dirt bikes. I don't want to use that word that you use sometimes, but it's definitely a harassing thing for the way the dirt bikes are going through the streets, messing with the seniors. So what's wrong with your position on this?
Well, I would tell you, I won't use that word, okay? I use the word what they are. They're criminals.
All right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what they are. They're breaking the law. They're going through stoplights. They're going through stop signs. They're riding these dirt bikes on sidewalks. They're riding the four-wheel ATVs, which are illegal, period. I don't care how you put them together. They're illegal, period. So you call it sympathetic. I call it soft on crime. That's what I call it. I mean, these are criminals. And you are literally saying to the criminals now, and look now, they go on television. They do a press conference saying that we're not going to chase these individuals. So if they're selling drugs, we're not going to chase them. If they're slinging guns, we're not going to chase them. If they rob a bank and they get on a dirt bike, we're not going to chase them. If they rape a girl and they get on a dirt bike, we're not going to chase them. What kind of message does the leadership of a city send when you're saying to criminals that you pretty much got key to the city now? Here you go. Just take the key to the city now. I mean, you could see it, that he is very soft on crime. You look, Art, you and I have talked about this. How many vigils have you and I been to in the last few weeks and months and years? 3 straight years of 100-plus homicides in the city of Cleveland. We got 43 homicides already this year. Well on our way to going to 100-plus homicides for the 4th consecutive year. And what's his answer, Art? Oh, that's just the way it is.
All right,
it is what it is.
All right, but
so, whether it's violence or whether it's the dirt bikes, he and this administration are soft on crime, and that's why we need a change.
Now, Zach, I agree with most of the points you've made clearly, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to paint a picture of all dirt bikers being criminals and slinging drugs and all that. Some of those are just good young men that have been misled and are right now like spoiled brats because the way the city have let them run through the city. But I agree with you on most of your points.
Well, whose fault is that, Art? Whose fault is that?
It is.
If you let your kids get away with what you letting these kids get away with, whose fault is that?
I agree with you 100%. But the point that I'm making here is the fact that the question that I'm asking is this: now that the city has let these dirt bikers run wild, in the city, how easy do you think it'll be to ring them back in?
It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be hard at all. You just let our police force do what our police force know what they need to do. First of all, we got helicopters. Put the helicopters in the sky. I mean, you got police that have the ability to counteract what they're doing. And you basically said to our police force, we're not going to do anything. I mean, to the point, Art, that when you call in, you see what they say during the press conference, the chief of the police, Calvin Williams, he had to say, well, we're going to go back and train our dispatchers not to say that. To say what? They were basically saying that we're not going to send a car because we can't chase them anyway. So, Art, what kind of policy do you have in place that is basically saying that we are not going to chase these dirt bike riders? So this is what I'm saying to you. So the only way you're going to rein it in, you cannot have a public policy that is saying to criminals, because of your illegal activity and the fact that we haven't come to a real solution on how to curb this illegal activity, we're going to build a $2.4 million dirt bike track, which none of them going to use. And then secondly, we're not going to chase you. And thirdly, we're not going to even dispatch a car.
All right.
What kind of policy is that?
All right. Sam from Melanated Media News has a question for you.
Yes, Mr. Reed. I have a question in regards to enforcing dirt bikers to not ride the streets. How do you foresee yourself if, this goes through and if you're elected in dealing with potential conflict and enforcing it?
We got to set up a task force. We got to set up a task force that is going to, like any other task force that we set up in the city of Cleveland over the years, to deal with it. We had to deal with gangs by setting up a task force, and now we got a gang impact unit. We had to set up drugs, and we had to set up drug units. I mean, you cannot send the message that we are sending now that criminals, these are criminals. When you run red lights, you're breaking the law. When you run stop signs, you're breaking the law. When you're harassing senior citizens when they're just trying to walk down a sidewalk, you're breaking the law. So you cannot have a policy in place that is basically saying we are not going to do anything. And if you go back and listen to the mayor's press conference, that's basically what he is saying. He is basically saying to the dirt bike riders, we are not going to do anything about this illegal activity. So what does that lead you to? And I would agree with Art. All of them aren't bad. All of them aren't criminals as it relates to doing other things. But the criminals with the activity that they're doing. So now, if you're selling drugs, and I see you selling drugs, and a police officer sees you selling drugs, legally sees you selling drugs, knows you're selling drugs, and you got a dirt bike next to you, you jump on the dirt bike, and you run away on the dirt bike. Now I got a drug dealer selling drugs, but got away because he's on a dirt bike.
All right.
So you now have legalized an individual breaking the law as long as they're on a dirt bike.
All right.
Instead of showing leadership that is saying to these individuals, the best thing for you guys to do is to stop. Because if you don't stop it, we're going to come down, and we're going to come down hard. And we're going to put together a task force to deal strictly with these dirt bikes. Like I said, we got helicopters. Let's put the helicopters in the air.
Zach, go ahead, brother.
Do you think there is a more, and I don't want to say go soft on it, but that is how you might perceive me where I'm coming from. Is there a more softer alternative? Because we know with the Tamir Rice situations, the police tensions and that disconnect in the community has increased. And you can say this is maybe why the mayor is soft on the issue, because of tension within the police and the inner city community. So do you think that there is a way to enforce it without using the task force, at least not right away, maybe as a third or fourth option?
First of all, the reason he don't want to chase him because of what those police officers did in East Cleveland with the 137 shots. mean, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They were wrong when they did that in East Cleveland, and and on some of these other cases they've done wrong. The Eric Henderson case would bring to mind also. So just because police have done wrong in the past as it relates to chasing does not mean that we should not put forth a policy to deal with these dirt bike riders. You can't put your head in the sand. I mean, look what they're doing. Art knows what they're doing. So it's not whether you want to say you soft on it or you hard on it. I'm not trying to be hard on them, and I'm clearly not going to try to be soft on them. What I'm saying is you cannot send the message that these individuals are breaking the law. We all know they are breaking the law. We don't let anybody else just knowingly break the law and look the other way. If we see drug dealers selling drugs, we go bust them. If we see bank robbers robbing banks, we go bust them. If we see rapists going to rape women, we go bust them. You cannot have individuals who we knowingly are breaking the law, and you go on television and basically say, we are not going to do anything. That is a terrible message to send forth.
Zach Reed, on that point, I have to let you go. We will bring you into, since you are running for mayor, we will bring you into the program so we can address your whole policies as far as what's going on and what you intend to do. And we will do that, and we will, Brother Sheriff or Brother Porter, be getting in touch with you real soon on that. However, as I let you go, the fact of the matter is, you're not going to accept this, excuse the language, laying down with the mayor calling you a pimp.
Oh, no. Tomorrow night, I'm going to get up on that floor of City Council, and I'm going to let him know that I wasn't a pimp yesterday, I'm not a pimp today, and I don't foresee me being a pimp tomorrow. And me and the people that I represent deserve and want an apology. Period.
Thank you, Councilman Zach Reed. You're always well-spoken, man. We'll be in touch soon, and thank you for being patient.
Oh, no problem, brother. Take it easy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Phone's lit up.
All right. Who's on the phone line? Talk to me.